I'm Bernice Ems for Fiasco Sports and the SA Footballer magazine, and today I'm joined by Chris Hall, coach of the St Peter's Old Collegians Football Club in Division 1, and this is the weekly wrap. Payneham defeated Port Districts by 34 points. Prince Alfred Old Collegians defeated Modbury by 38 points. Tea Tree Gully had a big win over Salisbury North, defeating them by 58 points. And Ross Trevor Old Collegians defeated Adelaide University by 5 points. And your boys, they scraped home by 3 points against Goodwood Saints, a much needed win for the club.
I think so. In the context of the season, obviously wins have been hard to come by. So for this particular group where we're at the moment, I think it was crucial that we got some some much needed confidence heading into the last 2 games for the season, and hopefully carry that into next season, whether that be Div 1 or Div 2.
Yeah, for sure. And given it was such a close finish, can you tell me a little bit about how the game played out?
Yeah, it was pretty breezy. So we kicked with the breeze in the first quarter and we were able to get up by 4 goals at that point in time, and then obviously Goodwood had the wind in the second quarter and drew level again, and the third quarter was a real arm wrestle, and again into the fourth where they were coming home with a breeze, but they kicked 3 or 4 in the last quarter, and I think with about 7 minutes to play there was 4 points the difference, and we were just able to hold on that last little play there, so very pleased.
Yeah, absolutely. And who would you say really stood up in the team to get the win?
Yeah, we had some, well, probably the most even performance we've had across the board this season. So James Hargraves was very good through the midfield, as was James Duncan and Samuel Roberts as well. We also had Sebastian Week play his last game for the club before going over to Chicago for university exchange, and in his last game he stood up, especially when the game was needed to be won. He stood up and delivered for us.
Fantastic. So previewing next week in Division 1, Goodwood Saints take on Modbury. Who would be your tip for that one?
If it's at Goodwood Saints, I'd tip them to bounce back after yesterday's performance, and obviously they've had a little bit of turmoil through the club the past week as well with what's happening with the coaching, but I think they would need to bounce back, and I think the race between 4th and 7th is really wide open at the moment, so I'd expect them to respond.
Yeah. And Payneham versus Tea Tree Gully?
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. We played Payneham a few weeks ago, and I really like what they're doing at the moment. I think with their forwards and Liam Davis and Jolly up there, I think they're pretty hard to contain. So I'm thinking they're going to finish the season pretty strongly and make their way into the 5.
And Salisbury North, they're up against the ladder leaders, Ross Trevor Old Collegians Football Club. What about that one? Yeah,
that's an interesting one. I think with Rocks, they've been a little bit indifferent the last 2 weeks. Obviously just managed to get over the line yesterday against Uni, but you would expect them to bounce back, and I think a couple of key players were missing yesterday as well. So once they get them back into the side, they're pretty hard to contain.
And Adelaide University versus Port District?
Yeah, that's another interesting matchup. I think Port District, they were really impressive the last time we played them. They've got a good even spread of contributors across the board, so I would expect Port District to win that one.
And your boys, St Peter's, they're taking on Prince Alfred Old Collegians Football Club. Prince Alfred are currently sitting 2nd on the ladder. What's the club focusing on this week to get themselves ready for next week's matchup?
I think it's just making sure everyone's healthy first and foremost. We're not in a position where we can afford to have too many injuries. So it is a bit of an old rivalry between the 2 schools, and especially it's carried over into the Old Collegians as well. So we'll be training hard on the track, and obviously everyone, nice weather. We're getting themselves up for a pretty big match, I would imagine.
Great, thanks Chris. And I'm Bernice Ems for Fiasco Sports and the SA Footballer magazine. Today I was joined by Chris Hall, coach of St Peter's Old Collegians Football Club in Division 1, and that was the weekly wrap.